So you're telling me he's at the nexus of the universe?
No. He's at the crossroads of the universe.
Oh.
Yeah, where He-Man was banished all those years ago.
Of course. Do we have any idea what he's up to there?
I don't know much. He was summoned and contacted by Mithrandir, and they're doing some figuring.
Well, yeah, it's always good to let him do the figuring.
Yeah.
I guess he's always going to bring back knowledge.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
Oh, hello. We've got some pho coming. Some amazing broth. Until it gets here, I'd like you to come, people. Come into the light. The movie light. We are down a brave warrior today, as we've stated. Dr. Crisis is at the crossroads of the universe getting business done. But I am here, as always, Mr. Dust, and my friend and colleague.
Hello, I am Melmut.
And we have a special guest. Goes by many names. We have known this person their whole lives. Let me introduce you to...
Skidabic.
Yes, good to have you here, Skidabic.
Thank
Always a pleasure, Skidabic.
you. Skitty.
And the topic for today is books to films, but not just any books to films, and the comparisons of either. It is the Harry Potter books to the Harry Potter films. Me and Skidabic consumed all, and we're going to talk about it, what the differences are, what we like, what we didn't, and so on and so forth.
And it's going to be just such a doggone geek fest.
Melmut is not the reader of books at all, from what I understand, right, Melmut? You don't read books, do you?
No. I make books in my factory.
Okay, yes, of course, but they're all on banned lists around the universe, so no one can read those.
So the beginning, where do we start there? Yeah, what was the first one?
See, you start at the beginning, and when you come to the end, you stop. See, that's how that goes. The very first book was which one, Skidabic?
The Sorcerer's Stone, or the Philosopher's Stone, as it was
There you
also
go.
known.
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, to the Brits.
To the
Or
Brits.
around the, anywhere but Americanas. It was
Okay.
known as the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah, I don't know what the point of changing it. It's an easy word to say. It's not like it doesn't exist in our language, so I don't know.
I think it didn't sound exciting enough to American audience, especially geared at children. Philosopher? I don't know why that's children.
Oh, we all know why that's children.
Okay, so take it away.
Okay, and I'd like that you be a mediator in this because we're going to get lost in, I'm putting up air quotes right now, geekdom.
Yeah, you best believe I will.
So if we get off topic or get off thing, you come in there and say, focus on something else. What's the next book? You know, if you feel free to do that.
Okay.
Okay. Now, we have notes because that's what geeks do. Take notes.
I did. There's colorful notes in my book.
That's right.
I
That's
didn't write in my book. They're things that are not so sticky stuck to my book. I wouldn't out-geek my book.
Okay. I'd like to start with watch. Yeah.
Watch.
Let's do a whole lot of watch.
He was a special wizard in the series. Watch.
He showed up right at the end, and he killed Voldemort. I mean, whoops.
Spoilers. Did you see movies first or read a book first?
I believe I read the books first. I could be super wrong. This was a long time ago, but I remember being familiar with the books and then seeing the movies and being like, hey.
So that happened with me later on. I was not very interested in Harry Potter. I knew of it,
Yeah.
and I'd seen the first 5 films, and I'm like, you know, the 5th one was kind of weird or whatever for me. We'll get into all that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm going to pick up these books. So I read the 5th, and then I'm like, okay.
You read the 5th first.
I read the 5th first, which was very weird. I read it 5, 6, 4, 7, 1, 2, 3.
Whoa.
Yeah, the geekdom out there is like, he's a sinner. I mean, no, yeah, and I'm with you. I am a sinner.
Blasphemy.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Everyone needs to take their inhalers out of just sheer unbelievableness. And I'm with you. I had an inhaler for years. I still need to take my inhaler when people are just doing things wrong.
No.
Yes. That's how I read it, which is ridiculous. And I've read them all 3-4 times, and I adore the books. So we're
Yes.
going to get into what we think about both. Okay, let's start with book number 1, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. We're not talking about philosophers. Enough. How dare you? And that whole thing. All right.
All
What are
that
your
good
impressions
stuff.
as to comparison right now? We're going to jump right into comparison. How do you think the first book compares to the first movie?
I think honestly, the director of the first 2 films, not speaking of the second yet, but the Columbus, I can't remember his first name.
Chris.
No way. Okay.
Chris Columbus.
Well, Mr. Chris Columbus, the one that didn't sail the ocean blue. He was very honorable from the books to the movies. I think he followed the atmosphere, he followed the characters, and almost down to direct dialogue from the book. Like he was very, okay, this is how it was, and I'm going to keep it that way, and this is important to me. I mean, it was I appreciated that because it was reading through the book. It's like, oh wow, yeah, then they said that, and I remember that part.
Yeah, the parts of it that were verbatim from the
Yeah.
book were amazing, and he really did capture. I agree with you. The feeling of it.
Yeah.
It really felt like a wonderful world.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Down to the colors and everything. I mean, like the difference between the colors in when you're in the Muggle world and when you finally enter the Wizard world and everything is so bright and it's sparkles and colors and is fantastic.
Interesting.
And I liked that he did that with practical effects, with sets, as well as CGI, and he mixed everything together.
Yeah.
Where it did feel, because I'm not one of those people. I think we talked about it on the show before. It's like, CGI, no, I want puppets. I don't want puppets. And
I love puppets.
I know it's going to rub Melmoth the wrong way, but he's a puppet geek. I don't want to see that. You know, within in the newer Star Wars films, mixed with all the great, I think, CGI. The problems with those movies we won't talk about here, but puppets. I don't want that. But this movie, I think, did a very good balance of both. And again,
Agreed.
he made it back in 2001. So,
yeah, and
you know,
from what I understand, thinking about like the Grand Hall and stuff, when you walked in, apparently all of those the candles and stuff were on strings, and the strings kept melting and the candles were falling. And I remember hearing that
Oh
in
my
in the reunion special that they did. They were talking about that, how the candles were like melting. All it was just like a mess a little bit.
that is
But
crazy.
It's cool.
No, it really is cool, and I'm sure to the people on the set, it gave a great feel, even if they were melting.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was a horror show. I don't know, but it translated well, I thought, to
Yeah.
screen.
Definitely.
Okay, I wanted to talk about, of course, characters. Richard Harris, I feel, was incredible
Yeah.
as the first Dumbledore in the first 2 films. The guy who played it afterward, Michael Gambit, I think it's his name is. If I'm saying that wrong, who cares? No, I just think that he played it great. You know, he did whatever, but he was kind of like just the angry Harry, you know, the angry Dumbledore, where it was like coming at you. It's like, Harry.
Most apparent in Goblet of Fire. Harry, did you put your name into the Goblet of Fire? It's like, oh my God. He said calmly was the exact line in the book.
Yes, preceding his line of asking him, and Dumbledore very calmly said, and then the movie, he ran up on him.
Dumbledore very geekily said, "I'm a geek, followed by geeks."
Expelliarmus.
That's right, get him.
Oh, why is that the only spell that they seem to know in the movies?
That was
killed me
interesting.
dead.
That did kill it dead because they seemed like they didn't want to throw around a whole lot of words in Latin or whatever. It's like Expelliarmus again, and then it was
Yeah, but they use that. You mean it frustrated me that they use that continuously throughout all the movies. It makes sense to use it in the first bits. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They're new students. They would only
Yes.
have a handful of things at their disposal. But when you get to the later movies, you know what I mean? Like they're freaking throwing Expelliarmus at Bellatrix Lestrange. You know?
Like, come on. And in the book, I remember they made was it that one they said it became like Harry's signature.
Oh, was it?
Expelliarmus was that was the one where you disarm
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
yes. And they kind of made it where that was his signature, and you could get that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But everybody's.
But just everything, and yeah, they just kind of pushed that one down your throat. I think they took a little minbana siku. That's a spell that I'm
just
working
what
on.
I said.
Yeah. It's a spell I'm working on. But yes, I think that they overdid certain things. Like this was really popular in this movie, like movies are. You know, any art or anything
Yeah.
you're selling, I should say. Okay, so how do you feel about Richard Harris and his depiction from the book through and through?
I think overall he did a really good job. The only thing I wished that they added more of to the movie was the fact that he was a goofball in the books. He was like his first words to the students I have marked in my book because I'm a nerd. But it's he's Dumbledore and everybody knows him, and the first words he heard about him were from Hagrid, and he read on this card all the things that he was important for, and then he goes to greet the Grand Hall and all the new students, and he said, "Nitwit, Blubber, Oddment, Tweak, thank you," and that was it, and he sat down. Those were his first words to greet the students. He was a weirdo.
Okay, I didn't know that
Yeah.
because I'm not a dork. No,
Oh.
Good Lord.
no, that's actually really neat. I didn't know that at all.
No, yeah, it's interesting that they have to make him this sage, wise, long-bearded. I mean, he was long-bearded in the book too, but just the
But
things that come with the long beard. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just like,
Exactly.
no, he could be
He
silly.
didn't have a learned beard. I don't know what he did. I don't know what I'm talking about.
And I had forgotten about some of the things until I was talking to you about it again. 'Cause
Yeah.
I have to brush off some of the books and get to reading them again myself.
Yeah, me too.
But that is something they did. And Richard Harris was a beautiful performance, but he
Yeah.
really kept it. Yeah, the older, and again, he was kind eyes, but he didn't really get the silly Billy, as you might say.
Yeah, it doesn't, and it
Dumbledore.
didn't take away from the character, in my opinion. I mean, you're reading the book, and it's like, okay, he's silly, but he would still kick anybody's butt anytime that challenged him. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes,
if need be.
And he only played it twice. I'd like to. It's late, but I'd like to give a shout out to Robbie Coltrane and Richard Harris.
Absolutely.
No longer with us. Robbie Coltrane, if you don't know, he played Hagrid.
The best Hagrid that ever could have been.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Like,
I don't see you getting a better Hagrid
No.
than him.
I agree with that.
Okay.
I'm always for Brian Blessed playing everything, especially with the beard. But you're not going to say, "Oh, he would have played it better than Robbie Coltrane." That's not really not. It's really
Okay.
not a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
No.
he was the perfectly casted Hagrid.
Yes.
okay. So perfectly casted, so that pretty much just sums it up, right? I mean,
Yeah,
there's
I-
nothing-
yeah.
he did it. Like
He
it was,
did
it was
it
accurate?
100%. I mean, like,
Okay.
even down to the way he talked, she wrote his character with very specific way of speaking, with the
Yes.
years and the, like just the dialect. I don't know exactly how to word that, but just the way that he spoke.
Yes.
he did it to a T. He was perfect. He was sweet and giant. He was a giant teddy bear.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And they kept his childlike goofiness on top of the intimidating
Yeah.
form that he had, and you knew what Harry could throw down because he was an insanely loyal character to
Yeah.
people that he thought were his friends.
Okay.
But he kept that, like I'm kind of doofy, but not stupid. He's just, I loved the way he played it. And
Yeah.
He really captured, his ideas.
Accidentally spilling secrets all the time. Up,
Oh, God,
I
yeah,
should
he-
not have said that.
Could not keep a secret with Hagrid. Okay, so let's get into. I mean, I know that we probably, we're going to talk about Harry, the casting of Harry
Yeah.
and Hermione and Ron.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like to get across some where I think me and you, Skidabig, correct me if I'm wrong,
Mm-hmm.
we felt that adults were not given enough depth, enough time, enough
No.
development in the movies.
And they were important. These
Yes.
people were important. You know what I mean? They were random in the movies. You mean it's just like, oh, and Professor Flitwick, that guy. You know, he was powerful in the book. You know,
Yes.
like and the age was crazy. The fact that they decided to make them so much older. Like the way they
Yes.
described them in the book, these were people in their early 30s, mid 30s. I mean, like these were not old people. I mean, like
No. In the wizarding world, you become a full-blown adult. You got to go out and get your life done at what?
17, I think. Yeah.
And it seemed to even, that's a year off or whatever, but there's no like, oh, I'm sitting at home. You have figured out your life. You have figured out your job. You figured out anything you need to be.
Yeah,
and
you
go out
finished
and
your school. You know,
Exactly.
like-
All schooling is done. And you go out and you get, you don't just sit around your mom's house
Yeah.
like it is in the Muggle world, You go find your life now. So
Find
these,
your life in your muggle.
exactly how
gonna
Muggles
throw my book
do
again.
act. Thank you. Okay, because me and Skidabik are wizards, so we're not listening to your Muggle crap.
Muggle talk.
Oh, that's just Muggle talk.
Is there a short term for them called muggies?
Muggies?
I'm glad you brought that stuff up because I think that it was written in such a great way when it came to in the books, obviously written. Well, movies are written too. What the hell are you talking about, Mel Mutna? That the words she did come up with, nicknames for things, insults for things, I
Yeah.
thought was absolutely beautiful.
Mudblood, you know that that
Yes.
was a good one.
Someone who wasn't pure wizard, they're mudbloods. You know, I mean, you've corrupted the bloodline. You know, that kind
yeah,
of thing.
Malfoy.
Malfoy.
So that seemed really fleshed out, this universe.
I thought so.
Absolutely.
I thought so. When it came to, again, they called them Muggles. The idea that there was different ministries of magic is their government. You know, in different countries and stuff, they were different. The fact that they had it in I believe the 6th book, where they had the Minister of Magic talk to the Prime Minister of England, where she finally
Oh, that's right. What was that about?
to show that that a change had been made, that the old minister was out.
Wow.
And
I
what was
forgot about-
what was
God, I
the
need
original
to read
minister's
the-
name in the books? Do you know, Skidovic? I know we both had to brush up.
Oh, no.
Cornelius Fudge.
Yes, no, I
Cornelius
did know
Fudge
that.
was out, and I'm gonna get gotten by Nerd World because I don't remember the man that took his place. God darn it!
Other than he was played by Bill Nye.
He was played by Bill Nye, and just the most Bill. It was amazing. All right, so
I love
oh, he's great. But the idea that she showed there that it's important for wizards hide from everyday muggles, but the governments need to understand each other. And she revealed first then that they get in touch with their countries. The Prime Minister of England, the
Minister of Magic.
the Minister of Magic
Yeah.
of England, they talk to each other. It was so interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah,
and
I
it- and
really
it's-
like that.
I like the fact that she explained why they don't mingle. You mean the saying that suddenly the Muggle world would be obsessed with getting magical solutions to all of their problems. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Which is it's cool that they did it like that. I
I
mean,
agree.
it's not like, oh, we can't mix because we just don't mix. You know what I mean? It's like, no, because then it'll cause chaos. These people are going to be like, no, you need to fix everything and use magic, and I don't care. You know what I mean?
Yes, and
Nobody
of
will
course
solve anything themselves.
and I think that's a great thing. She really she really carried the thing. The thing? That's just, yeah, she carried stuff, I think. She carried over the idea that you hear that with superheroes, like you can't be accessible to them all the time. One of the reasons why you have alter egos and stuff. It's like they know where you live and you know you're over there. They're going to come to your house every day. Save my kid from the common cold. You know, it's not how you want to do that. You know. Okay, getting back to casting. What
Yes.
other adults? Okay, are there adults you feel that didn't? Okay, we know about the second Dumbledore. I think it was a good performance.
Yeah.
Didn't really capture Dumbledore. Do you feel there's any other adults that were like, no, this, and we know that Hagrid, perfect casting, Robbie Coltrane. There's
Yeah.
another one. We'll go back
Maggie
to
Smith was a good casting, in my opinion.
Maggie Smith was
I think she did
Professor
great.
McGonagall.
Yes, I
did
think
a great
she did
job.
a great job.
Because Maggie Smith pretty much is Professor McGonagall.
She
I mean,
is,
yeah.
just as a human being.
Yeah, if I ever
Just
met her,
minus
I
the
would ask
magic.
her. Yes. Well, I'm not sure about that. You know? I'd ask her, what house am I in? And she's probably been asked that by
Oh,
any
God.
jerk.
Sword me.
And
She would say, Philosopher's Stone, get away from me, you yank. And I'm like, huh?
yeah, yeah, all the geeks just follow her
I'm
with
sure.
their geek feet.
She's great.
Thank you,
She
Marlon.
would
I don't
be
know why you're being
so
such a jerk.
blessed.
Yes. Blessed. All right, so that's another great one. What do you feel is another bad one? We got 2 ones that were great.
I feel like.
Well, 3 with the original Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Although, do you have problems? You said, oh, no, we just talked about that. My mind is lost somewhere. Professor Crisis. Nope. Dr. Crisis.
I think
See how
Snape
lost
might
I
have,
am?
put a potion in you.
I think, yeah, something happened there. I'm confuddled. I'm befuddled.
Nerb.
No, I think Helena Bonham Carter could have played Bellatrix well. She could have if they had let her. But
Agreed.
she went into complete silliness with that character. So
Yes.
I think that could have been done so much better.
And you got to understand out there, people, and Melmoot and Marlon Brando, who keeps jumping in and calling us geeks, that she was pretty much Voldemort, the main bad guy. He was pretty much his top general. She was an assassin. She was fiercely and shakably loyal to his cause
Yeah.
and what he needed to do. And the movie was, I hate Harry Potter. And she had weird teeth. It's like, and Helena Bonham Carter's awesome, but Tim Burton didn't direct this. Don't act like
no,
he did.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, she has the Johnny Depp problem. Not to get too much into that of just over exaggerating her characters. You know what I mean? It's like, no, you
Yes.
don't need to do that. You're powerful. This is an incredibly this is a very cool character that you did not need to make into a silly caricature of what it was in the book. You know, it wasn't necessary.
No, I fully agree, and it's a shame because she could have brought scary insanity to it because she was in Azkaban, which
Yeah.
is the jail for dangerous wizards, and she was broken out after many years. So it's not going to feel good.
No, you have the Dementors, which for anybody that doesn't know what those are, they're pretty much these horrifying Grim Reaper looking things that suck your soul out. So
Yes, they suck out all
God.
happiness when they're around you. They take happiness away from you.
yeah.
Yeah. She
God
survived
bless
that to
them.
come out and be still insanity. But she played it. She just played it like a
Yeah,
weirdo.
running around being silly and stupid all the time. You mean
All the
she
time.
wasn't intimidating.
She wasn't intimidating.
And then she gets knocked. Who knocked her down at that
It
one
was
point?
Harry.
It was Harry. Yeah, knocked her down at the one point, and she's whimpering and cowering away. Absolutely not.
My God, if you read the book and you
Absolutely not.
hear whimpering and cowering out of Bellatrix Lestrange, you would get your inhaler out lickety split. I know I did. Just makes no sense to me.
No.
So, would you keep her under better direction or?
I think she could have done it.
Okay.
I want to know how. You know what I mean? I
Okay.
want to give her the opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I
Be
agree.
like, hey, tone down the silliness, please. Just give it your best shot.
Yes,
So I would give her that opportunity.
I definitely would. There was a person for me for a little while that I don't think got enough credit for certain things. Minnie Driver. I
I
think
like
could have
Minnie
played a
Driver.
good Bellatrix.
Okay.
Strong jawline, stunning, but you could see her being intimidating.
Yeah.
So I really think that could have worked for her. But they again, no matter who was playing it, they went in a silly direction with her.
Absolutely.
All right, so the person connected to her because they were cousins, Sirius Black.
God, we all know we love Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman's a king. I don't care what anybody says.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, the interpretation was just a bit different than the book.
Yeah.
I want to hear your opinions on that one a
okay.
little bit.
I think they made him a little bit too noble
Okay.
in the movie. He was a good man, but he was
Yeah.
much more complicated with deep rooted bigotry pushed on him by his family.
Right.
They hated house elves. They hated Muggles.
That's right.
They were
Creature
in-
was his house elf, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And he still in the book he still treated Creature like shit. I mean he was like, who cares? It's a goblin. What are they?
A house elf.
I just said house.
You sure
I really
did.
am. I have a potion on me, a hex. All right. But yeah, and they just made, and the fact that they did a little bit in the book, I feel. I mean, a little bit in the movie, I feel. But the way he kept comparing Harry to his father, and it was
Right.
more for Sirius because they were best friends in school.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was Harry's godfather, Sirius. He kept
Okay.
comparing him. Why are you still here?
I live here. Sometimes I do.
That he was unfairly comparing them to, and James would have done this, Harry's father. He would have done this, and James would have been up for this, and Harry kept feeling like he had to live up to that.
Oh, that's right. I have to, because he was first introduced. Well, he was introduced a little bit, but he was first really introduced in Prisoner of Azkaban, right?
Yes.
So he spent time. God, his poor character spent time in Azkaban for
Yes.
nothing, right?
Or
I mean,
nothing. He was framed by another character named Googie Montugi. No.
Really?
Played by
Yeah, you
Timothy
believe
Spall.
that, didn't you, Melmore? That's a dumb name. You don't know the difference, you muggle.
but
Alright.
played by Timothy Spall.
Timothy Spall,
Magoogie, as you said.
And what was his name? We were having that. Wormtail, as he was
That's
known
the
by his other
one,
name.
yeah,
but
but
he had a
he
name.
sure did. Peter Pettigrew.
Peter Pettigrew. Yes.
There we go.
Thank you. Sorry to anyone out there. We're like, we're going to talk about it. What was it? You know, we just we do some homework. We like to be fresh when we're having a conversation, but I need to read those again.
Timothy
love him.
Spall can sure play a weaselly little weirdo.
Yes, he can. Did you see him play Fagin?
I did not.
Oh wow, he played Fagin in the
Yeah.
production of Oliver Twist with Thomas
Mr.
Hardy,
Hardy.
who I'm on the outs with right now. We'll talk about that another time. Go watch Capone. You'll be on the outs with him too.
All right, I'm in.
Okay. So yes, and again, we already talked about the age. You brought up Skidabic. You brought up the age.
Yeah.
That was a series. They're all like in their
Yeah,
50s.
Snape
and 60s.
was a big one with the age. Alan Rickman is a beautiful man and a talented one at that. You know what I
And
mean?
thank
But-
you. I'm a jerk to everybody out there. Alan Rickman is also no longer with us. So big shout out to him along with
Yeah,
Robbie Coltrane
definitely.
and Richard Harris. If anyone else has passed on and I forgot, send me a note via Owl. And I will and I will send you some golden beans via my pet crow. So there we go.
Okay. So, would you keep Alan Rickman?
It's hard to say because you can't. He doesn't look young, and goodness, they should have fixed his hairdo. I liked him. I think he played it well. His character was a lot meaner in the book.
I agree.
Like they gave him a little bit too much. Like him doing anything, which I'm not going to give spoilers or.
Oh, they've been out forever. Go.
Oh, okay, cool. Like when he finally does sacrifice himself
Yes.
in the 7th book, right?
Yes.
That was supposed to be a huge surprise. Snape was a terrible, awful teacher to Harry. He had a very specific problem with him that you find out all about later. But like he
Yes.
was any excuse that he could get to be mean to him or to punish him, it was taken. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
he
he was a
took-
jerk in the movie, but he wasn't on that level.
I agree. He had more, and to say right off, I wouldn't have kept Alan Rickman.
Okay.
I
No,
think
and
Alan
I
Rickman
understand
is-
that.
yes.
He played it well, but I don't think he was Snape, you know?
I agree. And the agent Alan Rickman was a very calm actor. He was I think Snape needed to be more fiery. Not saying
Yeah.
Alan Rickman couldn't do that,
Right.
but and I agree with you. He took pleasure in embarrassing and trying to humiliate. That's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
But hurt Harry.
Yeah.
And the movie was more like, I don't like this boy. I'm an old teacher. It was different.
Yeah, no, he had a specific problem with Harry.
Yes, specific. Yeah, connection to his mother,
Oh, okay.
which they mentioned a little bit. He was in love with, and we're gonna get into this for a second.
Yeah.
Harry's dad in the movies was
was
not.
a jerk.
No, in the book he was a gigantic jerk.
Yeah.
they didn't get into that enough.
No,
I
I
think, in
mean
the
he
movie.
was his. That's what I'm saying. His
Oh,
dad
yeah.
was a jerk.
Oh yeah, see, I'm sorry. I said in the movie, then you said a jerk. Yeah,
sorry.
No, that's fine. No, yeah, I agree. He was ridiculously a big jerk, and Lily, who was Harry's mom,
Yes.
she did not want anything to do with him when they were in school together because he was such a jerk and picked him and Sirius used to pick on Snape because he was poor.
Yeah.
It was insane. The anger that he felt toward them and toward Harry, you understood. And she
Really?
gave
Yeah.
it that depth, and it led him down a bad path. He did work for Voldemort.
Yeah, and they
What? Oh, yeah.
No, they barely touched on this stuff in
They
the
really
movie.
did.
So the things that were supposed to be surprising and you know what I mean, like that stuff it didn't jump at you as much as it should have in the movies and it
Yes.
did in the book. Because in the book it's like, no way, everything makes sense now. You know what I mean? But in the movies it's like, oh yeah, I guess they talked about that a little bit, but it still doesn't explain why he would have joined Voldemort. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. They kind of made him like, it's like, oh, I had nothing else to do. Voldemort or something. I don't know. It was
Whatever.
more like that, I feel.
But when does Frodo show up?
My God, man. Sacrilege up in here.
you don't mix the
Stay away. Exactly. You deserve every moment of that. Such a mistake. Ew.
Oh, my
I left my inhaler at home. I'm feeling I got a faint.
I have my glasses on. You just can't see me push them up every 10 seconds. It's okay.
Okay, another one I thought, there's a lot of people to cast, so let's move on to a little bit more of how the movies progressed.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they got less, the movies, for me, as they went on.
Agreed.
Which for me, the books got stronger as they went on.
Absolutely. I mean, it's interesting the way that they with the movies too in length. Like the fifth being the longest book
Yes.
and the shortest movie is
Just doesn't make a lick of sense.
really stupid.
Really very stupid. And I understand at the time he mentioned Frodo over here like a sad man, but they were competing against each other for 3 years. And I think Lord of the Rings, by the time the second one came out, was winning. So it's like, okay, we need to do this, and counter programming, as it's said, where you need something that's different from the other one. I want you're watching this. I want to have some kind of counter program, and it's not like it, so you can have something to choose from. So like, we got wizards things here, magic. That's a long epic. Let's make this a bit shorter and tighter, and it's going to be good. I don't know if that actually would happen, but it seemed like it.
Right.
And it's like that book was 870 pages, The Order of the Phoenix. And the movie was like, it's like under 2 hours. And it wasn't under 2 hours, but
No, but yeah.
it was the shortest of the movies up to that point. That was the fifth movie. It's like, what just happened here? You know?
Yeah, and there was so much to cover, and they just kind of
Yes.
like that, and then that. Blah, blah, blah. In my opinion, that was the most rushed movie with
Yes.
the least amount of explanation. You know what I mean? It's like, and what's going on? And wait, why did he do that? And what's happening? You know what I mean? They didn't get into any details that you really felt like you should have. I can't think of a concrete example right now, but,
No, but
that
yeah.
was the overall feeling.
No,
of
absolutely.
It.
The rushed along nature of it, and so many things just being, this flies in, and this character's over there, and why is he yelling about that? What's the dream about? You just
Yeah.
like, and a gun, and a gun.
You have a gun.
I have a gun. No, and again, the idea that of course, you can't adapt books every detail. You can do so much in a novel of of what people are thinking and how things and the passage of time. It's hard to adapt books into movies. It really
Yeah,
is.
it is. Yeah, because you don't have as much. You don't have you can make a book any length. You know what I mean? You
Yes.
write everything until you feel like the idea is down and done. But with a movie, you're trying to like fit everything into a certain time frame. I can understand it being difficult, but there's things that they skipped that could have just been added to the scenes that already existed. Like Neville being the character of importance that he was barely shown up in the movies, and it's like he
true.
could have just been a small part of each of their scenes. Like when
Yes.
they found Fluffy for the first time, the three-headed dog.
Yes.
His name was Fluffy. He was great. He's a good boy. But he was with them in the book when they found him.
Yes, he was.
And he wasn't when he was in the movie. And it's like, well, you could just give him little bits here and there. I mean, he was an important character. You didn't need to cut him out.
No, I agree. And especially what he ended up doing in the movie to help Harry in the book, I mean. And, well, they did it both, but then it didn't really seem as big of a, wow, Neville. It was kind
Right.
of like, Neville, what? Yeah,
Yeah,
it was kind of
why
in the movie.
Neville?
Yeah, because there was a prophecy that the child born on this certain day, him and Harry shared a birthday. The prophecy of the boy born on this day will destroy Voldemort. Voldemort assumed, because Lily and James were very much against Voldemort, that it would be their child. So he went after him to kill him. You find out that Neville, it wasn't that, was it Neville or was it, Harry? It was both of them.
Yeah.
Where Neville was the one that killed Voldemort's pet snake, Nagini, which is last Horcrux, which
Yeah.
is when you separate your soul and you put it into different objects.
Yeah,
You
he
have to
separated
destroy
into
all of them.
7 pieces, which that
pieces.
takes a hell of a toll on a person.
A hell of a toll on your body. That's why he had no nose, looked like a snake, snake eyes, just
Yeah.
craziness,
Living under a turban for the first movie.
Yes, you had to kill. You had to destroy or kill, in Nagini's case, you had to kill or destroy them all before you could even kill Voldemort. So he killed Nagini. It's like that was a huge deal. He was part of the destruction of Voldemort.
Yeah, because before that, only Harry.
Only Harry, yeah. All right, so let's get into this. We're talking about Voldemort, we're talking about destroying, we're talking about magic. I want to get into the wands
Yes.
and how to some reason, in the movies, every wand battle turned into crossing the streams from Ghostbusters, where it's just and it looked cool in the first movie.
It did.
They connected, the power shot of each wand connected in the middle, and you're battling out, and you're pulling on like it's a tug of war of magic. But then it became every battle that everyone did with their wands. That's not the that's not the case.
No, not
And
at all.
What was the case, Skidabick?
Oh no, it was between Harry and Voldemort. Both of their wands had a phoenix, the phoenix tail as the core. They were the same phoenix,
Yes.
nonetheless. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
when they were going to battle, the reaction was just so amazing.
Yes, absolutely. So that was what that was.
Yeah,
It made absolutely no sense that it happens all the time. It was sister wands.
yeah.
So stop. Come up with something else, for God's sake.
Which Ollivander, just to give a quick shout out to the one and only amazing John Hurt.
Yes, we must shout out to Ollivander, the man who ran the wand shop, and you got your first wand by going into, most people into Ollivander. There was other wand shops. Ollivander, he played it with such majesty and mystery, but he didn't play like, I'm yes, hello, Harry. He was interested by wands, interested by magic, needed to know which one will you
Yeah.
choose. It was so amazing.
Well, we'll choose you.
Which one? Look at you. You got me. Look at what you did. That's what's right. Yeah, choose you.
Yeah, the wand chooses the wizard, Harry.
Yes, and I might be paraphrasing a little bit because, again, I got to bone up on the books, but he told Harry when the wand picked him, it's very strange that you would get that wand because its sister put that scar on your head.
Yeah.
Then he knew that. He's like, maybe it'll mean you'll go on to do fantastic things.
Yeah.
Because Voldemort, he did fantastic things.
Terrible.
Terrible. But amazing. I said amazing the second time because I can't remember if it was amazing or fantastic.
It was great, I
It
think.
was amazingly
thing.
fantastic.
I think he said it was great. He did great things. Terrible, but great. I think is how he worded.
He
Bless
performed it
him.
so well. Such a great line. Yes, he admired the magic he was able. He wasn't a Voldemort supporter.
No.
But he admired what he was able to do with his magic.
Yeah, I mean, you would be impressed. Anybody would.
Yes.
You know what I mean? To be able to. It's a shame that it was dark magic, but just to be capable of what he was capable of, and that's why Dumbledore had so much respect. You know what I mean? This was Dumbledore, the only person in the known universe that Voldemort was scared of. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's why Hogwarts was the only place to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Can you name one other school in the Harry Potter world?
Ooh.
Winkledanks.
Oh, I remember them. It was the one with all the girls and the one with all the guys,
Yes.
where Crumb came from.
Which actually wasn't in the movie. They made it all boys and all guys. There were boy students and girl students of the other two schools in the books. They just
Been a
they
while,
changed
guys.
it. Yeah.
No,
No, that's fine. I've had the same problems. Drumstrang was the one with all of the boys. In
Okay.
The movie. Yeah, where Victor Crumb came
Victor
from.
Crumb.
Yes. Yes. I'm named that one because I only had to name one, and you fail.
don't remember the other one.
It was Bo Battens.
Bo Battens.
Yes. So that's what that is. All right. We also want to talk about, you talk about the amazing things. The most amazing things that Voldemort was able to do is flying.
Oh my God, what a disappointment in the movies. They had all of Voldemort's followers be able to just fly around at their own whim. It's supposed to be this incredible dark magic power that you have. You know, to be able to fly without a broomstick. You know what I mean? A broomstick is impressive enough. You know what I mean? It's like you're on a broomstick, you're flying. That's amazing. Any muggle
Yes.
would have, peed themselves. But he was able to fly without any kind of assistance like that. But in the movies, it was just like everybody's whizzing around and they're flying and, all right, I'm out of here. I'm flying away. It's like, what?
Yes.
No, this was amazing that he could do this. And the only other person to do it was Snape.
Yes.
This
They
was
said he looked like
supposed to
some kind of
be
big, dark bat.
impressive.
Yes. Supposed to be impressive. When he came flying up on Harry in the beginnings of the 7th book.
Really? He
to
can
come
fly?
get him. Yeah, they were freaked out that he could fly without a broom. It was so awesome. And I understand movies, like, they're on brooms, whatever, it looks like whatever. And I understand the trouble, but think of something.
Anything.
Yeah, for me, it comes down to conditioning the conditioning the viewer. You know, you have to make the broom concept amazing by how you set it up.
Yeah.
And then break that with what Voldemort is doing.
Yes.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? That just comes down to how you do it as a filmmaker, I think. You know,
I
which it
agree.
sounds like it was done well in the book.
Oh, absolutely.
It was
'Cause-
so
yeah.
impressive. And that reminds me too, just a quick thing on Quidditch. They didn't in the movie. They didn't talk so much about how Malfoy was supposed to be this great, like he was supposed to be really great on a broom. So like when Harry jumped on his broom and chased him for the Remembrall that he stole from Neville, like it was supposed to be like, oh my God, Harry's just whizzing around and he's flying, he's beating Malfoy. Like Malfoy's supposed to be good on a broom. In the movie, you're just kind of like, oh, Malfoy's on a broom, and look now, Harry's on a broom. I mean, like
Yeah. I
it was
definitely
supposed to
agree
be.
with that.
You mean, it was supposed to be kind of in his blood. You know what I mean? As his dad played Quidditch and he was on the Quidditch team. You know, it was supposed to be this cool family trait that he had.
Yes. They really didn't get into that. It was like, yeah, everyone gets on brooms or whatever, but if we can, we'll just fly or turn into smoke. It's like, that's not how that works.
Or speaking of the family thing, I don't understand why they didn't add his whole family into the Mirror of Erised. Was it in the movie?
I believe so.
It was only his mom and his dad in the movie that showed up in the mirror. So the mirror shows you your greatest desires, and in the movie, Harry saw just his parents standing behind him. In the book, it was his whole family.
Yeah.
He could see his lineage behind him. You know what I mean? He didn't know who these people were, but it was amazing to feel part of something. You know what I mean? It was just like he saw this. He was saying how this old guy had knobby knees like he had, and like all of them had his eyes, and it was just he spent so much time sitting in front of this mirror and staring at it that Dumbledore moved it so that he wouldn't waste his life away in front of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which was amazing. I mean, his parents, of course, was impressive. You know what I mean?
Yes,
It's
of
like,
course.
wow, my God, it's my mom and my dad. I remember them, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A flash of green light, at least, from them. But it was cool in the book to have it be his whole family. These were people that he'd never even heard of, didn't know about. You know what I mean? The Dursleys didn't talk to him about his family or anybody else other than, his mom's sister.
Yes.
That's all he knew was his aunt. So it's just so cool.
Yeah. Did they
Absolutely.
all have
They did that.
inhalers?
Oh.
Magic made it where they didn't have to. So if you hear me breathing too much into microphones because I forgot my inhaler, I'm so upset. Okay, I want you to name a character that you feel would have been that they didn't have in the movie from the book, and I will name one myself. So what do you feel the character that was in the book and not in the movie that should have been?
Peeves.
And who is Peeves?
Peeves was a very trickster poltergeist that was hanging around Hogwarts. I don't remember which house he was from, honestly. But he was just constantly, he was there all the time. And the kids are getting in trouble. Like when Harry and Ron were wandering around the corridors and stuff, Peeves was yelling that there were students in the hall so that Filch, the
Caretaker.
the caretaker, he would come find them. So he's yelling, students in the hall, students in the hall. And he was just always trying to get people in trouble or knock stuff over. He was just a jerk. But he became this cool, important character later because he was part of the battle against Voldemort held at the school.
Yes. Yes, he still defended his home. But I agree with you because, again, when talking to you, I forgot about Peeves. I have to read the books again, but it would have been a great mischievous, thing.
Yeah,
Oh my God,
definitely.
This is the weird part of Hogwarts. I got to run from Peeves because he's nuts.
Yeah, and again, these things don't take up time. You don't have to explain Peeves' storyline or where he came from. You know what I
No.
mean? Also, there was a ghost that taught one of the classes the history of
Yes.
magic or the history of Hogwarts, something like that. There was a
Yeah.
ghost that taught a class. They didn't
Yes.
show that at all either.
No, they didn't show him. For me, I would have really liked. It wasn't really big characters as far as a storyline, but I think it would have really enriched a character we already talked about. Didn't get fleshed out enough. Neville. I think his parents should have been in the movie.
Yeah, they were Looney Tunes.
They were Looney Tunes because you assume they're dead for a while,
Yeah.
and then when you see when you read the books in a later book, this sounds very like in one of the books I think, but I just leave me alone. No, it was he went to visit them. Harry was there visiting. It was the teacher, wasn't it? Was he visiting him? Why was Harry in the hospital? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't.
Oh, God, we're such jerks right now.
I read the books.
I did too, I swear. But
I did not.
and proud of it, right?
I didn't.
He was there. They were there for a reason. They ended up seeing the teacher from the second book. The
Lupin?
one, no, the second book, the one that was teaching Defense Against the Dark Arts.
Oh my goodness! What was his name? That loser.
It was like Lockhart or something.
It
wasn't
was. It was Lockhart. I can't
He was
remember his
such a
first
jerk.
name.
And I thought played very well by Kenneth Branagh.
Yes,
He was
agreed.
supposed to be incredibly handsome. I'm not coming at Kenneth Branagh. I don't get like whoa by Kenneth Branagh.
No,
No, I'll say it. Kenneth Branagh's ugly.
I don't feel that way.
no, but he wasn't this magically, marvelously handsome individual like he should have been in
No,
the
and
book.
again-
He's supposed to be like, wow, what this guy?
Yeah, I mean he's charming. I'll give
Oh
him
no,
that.
absolutely.
But yeah, he looks like if a football came to life. Like
But he captured the attitude, the performance really carried over.
Yeah.
But I thought that at the time, if they were going to cast someone in that part that could have done the character and the look, it would have been Jude Law, who of course
Oh.
came into the Harry Potter
Yeah.
world in as young Dumbledore. But I think that would have been a good casting. But they were there to visit. They ended up seeing him. I can't remember why they went there originally, but they saw Neville there, and you found out Neville was visiting his parents, who had been tortured into insanity by Bellatrix Lestrange and her husband.
Yes, that's right. I forgot that's why he had that super specific hatred for Bellatrix.
Yes.
God,
Yes.
she was an evil,
Horrible, evil,
person.
terrible thing in the book. Yes.
Mm.
So I think, yeah, those are characters I think could have been added.
Definitely.
Okay.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Yes.
Excuse me?
No, I'm not sure.
All right.
Good job. The Pirates of Penzance should have been in it a whole lot more, though.
Really?
Oh yeah.
What's that?
It's a oh God. It's a musical about the Pirates of Penzance.
Oh, all right.
Well,
That
I guess
explains
it would have
everything.
been stealing, if you just put him in a Harry Potter book. But whatever. What's your question?
The elephant in the room, Voldemort.
Yeah.
Did he hold up Ralph Fiennes?
I
Ralph
don't-
Fiennes? Rafe Finesse? Well,
It's
Yeah.
Ralph. We're in America.
Does he not pronounce it Ralph? This is news
I think
to me.
people were saying for a little while when he was getting popular in the 90s, they were calling him Rafe.
Rafe.
And I believe his name is Ralph. So
Ralph Fiennes. Spelled Ralph.
it's spelled Ralph.
to
If you want to
me.
be fancy and call yourself Rafe, do it on your own time. I'm not being brought into this.
Ralph Fiennes is a gorgeous man.
Yes.
No, he, by the end, he did not hold up at all, in my opinion. He looked like he hated the character. He hated the movies.
Wow.
He didn't care, not one lickety split. No,
Okay, so
I-
what are you doing to me?
You wanted to get both opinions on this, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, that's true. So go ahead.
I don't think Ralph played Voldemort properly. I think
Oh,
Ralph put
wow.
in a great performance in
absolutely.
the first movie he was in.
He's a
Okay.
talented man.
Yeah, and moving on from there, one of the scenes in even Melmoth likes where he's fighting Dumbledore at the end of Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah.
That was a great scene.
Great
They
scene.
did wonderful for that.
Yes. They ended up going into our wands are connected again, but
Yeah,
whatever.
We talked
But
about
his
that.
performance. But for me, he needed to be much more grounded. He was a tactician. He was a politician. He was not actually in
Yeah,
politics,
but
he thought everything out. He was very calm about what he knew, what he wanted, what he was going to get. He wasn't. Ralph played it like a crazy demon, and Ralph did his thing. But I would have calmed him down. I think it was scarier for him, especially when he's doing crazy shit. I'm calm Voldemort. What are you talking about here? And then he flies. It's like, oh my god! I would have
Okay.
I would have recast it. Yeah, I would have cast somebody else. We'll talk about that at a later date and time in the show.
In the universe.
In the universe. What do you think
Okay.
about that, Skidabik?
No, I agree. I agree with that 100%. I
Okay.
mean,
Okay.
no more further comment needed. Honestly, it's could have could have his character portrayal could have been done better. Definitely.
Yeah.
So neither of you are keeping him, or
I would not keep him, and strangely enough, I think he would have been better suited to play Grindelwald.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a cool idea.
Who's that?
Because Grindelwald,
jerk?
he was a bad guy. He was
He
the
was.
big bad before Voldemort's time.
Yeah, the Dumbledore pretty much came to fame from
Yes,
defeating Grindelwald.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they were
I'm
actually
so
in love,
invested.
which is sad. Yeah, you sounded. Grindelwald and Voldemort were in love. They think that that's a new thing from the movies, but J.K. Rowling did reveal and you when reading you can see it. They were in love.
Okay.
Dumbledore and him. Did
Wow.
you feel that way when you were reading it? They
have
didn't get a
to
whole
go
lot
through
into
again.
Grindelwald.
Right.
I have to say, even in the books, they didn't really, you didn't get. That's why I wish these movies were a little bit more about, hey, Dumbledore and Grindelwald. What's the Fantastic Beasts? Throw that out the window.
I was really confused on why they made that into a film
I have no idea.
because
I agree.
it was barely mentioned ever.
Yes.
It was a book that they had to read when they were going to school. It wasn't
Okay.
Yes.
movie worthy.
No. Then they were like, oh, this isn't movie worthy. Let's put Grindelwald in it suddenly. It's like, what are you doing?
goodness.
Just make movies about Grindelwald and the problem that was happening then.
Yeah, and it would have been cool.
Yes. But to further your question, Melmot, you said you had second parts to that, or
Oh no, you guys. I don't remember what it was,
all right, good.
but
I don't
also I
care.
feel like it was also answered.
Okay.
So, piss on me.
Nah,
and
wait.
my crops. I got him.
That's not what's going on here, you weirdo. Okay, are we getting to the point of the program where we move along, or are we still talking here? We
I
got
like to
time to
talk.
talk, Melmot?
We got so much doggone time.
Last person I wanted to mention that I was a little bit disappointed in what could have been different was Hermione.
Mm.
That was an important one. She was one of the main characters. And she was very different in the book. She was supposed to be this very buck-toothed, giant-haired, dorky lady, and she was so unbearably annoying in the beginning of the book that Harry and Ron both hated her. And they showed that a little bit.
You're telling me she was a dork among dorks? My God! No, but go on. I'm actually very interested in this.
Oh no, it's just funny that the way they turned it. You know what I mean? It's like she was mildly annoying in the movies, and you could tell that they didn't like her, kinda. But then it was just like, now you're part of the group. Come on. It took them a while to like her, and it was because of an incident that they got into where there was a troll in the bathroom and they saved her, which I still don't know why they lied about that. Nobody did anything wrong.
Yeah, it was really strange.
Yeah, they go to save her because she was crying in the bathroom and a troll had gotten into the school. So they go and they find her in the bathroom and the troll's in there with her. So they wound up having to fight it. And when the teachers show up and why the hell are you in here? I mean, she's like, no, they came in because I thought I could fight it by myself and they came and saved me. It's like, why did we lie?
Yeah, there was no reason to lie with
Yeah,
that.
nobody went and sought out the troll. They went to find her because they knew she was in the bathroom by herself and didn't want her to get, stompled by the troll.
Stomple, I like that.
And for some reason, they lied about it.
I guess they were trying to say that she was like in with them now, and she wanted to make them sound like heroes. But that's the truth.
Yeah,
they came in and they all fought it. It just I agree with you.
I
It
was
made no
confused
sense
on
to have
that
this
one.
big lie.
And from what
Hate
I
these
remember,
books.
I hate these stupid books. It's not true. JK, no.
No, everything's fine.
But she was also much more ruthless from the little bit I remember from the books. Of she wanted to just take things very head on. She was very in the movie. She was just, no, we can't do this. We have to stop. We have to think about it and analyze. You mean in the book she's like, no, let's kill somebody. You mean like
She was a lot. She was a freedom fighter. In the
Oh,
book.
yeah.
She had an analytical mind about like a scientist mind. We got to go figure this out. If it takes us doing this, we got to get it done. She was very much like that. Yeah.
I can't remember. I think it might have been Ulrich. Not Ulrich.
Skeet Ulrich? I didn't know he was in the Harry Potter books.
Ulrich. Umbridge.
Dolores?
Dolores Umbridge.
Yeah.
I think, didn't she like torture her or something at one point? And I can't remember.
I seem to remember that going on.
I can't remember.
But again,
exactly.
it's sad that we're like, let's
I'm
talk
a
Harry
bad
Potter.
dork.
Can't remember this part. Okay, I'm a bad geek. No, we're with you.
But yeah, that was disappointing to me. I was like,
Yes.
come on.
Okay. So,
Powerful.
what is your problem? No. So, are there any other instances of sacrilege?
I'm going to talk to Skidabic about this, see if she finds it to be the same kind of sacrilege. In the book, when it came down to all of his generals, all of his followers had been taken out. Last one to fall was Bellatrix. Voldemort came face to face with Harry, and they went into a duel. Harry won, defeating Voldemort in the Great Hall in front of everyone.
Amazing.
Amazing. In the middle of the Great Hall of the battle, at the end of the battle for Hogwarts. He fought him in front of everyone.
Oh my God, this is the building that has taken him so long to be able to gain enough followers to even get the slightest bit of cojones to go ahead and approach because of Dumbledore.
Exactly.
Dumbledore was terrifying to him.
Terrifying.
So it needed to be in Hogwarts.
Yes.
You know what I mean? This was what it was all about,
In the movie, not only was it not in Hogwarts, which Skidabic just explained why it should have been, but he did it with just the two of them.
In the Forbidden
How
Forest,
was
right?
in the Forbidden? There were some ruins and stuff around. I think it was a part of the school, like over.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like on the bridge.
Yes.
And they both fell in a weird manner.
Yeah, and they did their Ghostbusters thing again. He ends up dying in the battle. I asked you. Let me tell me.
Oh man,
It's just
he's
getting
having a
bad.
problem.
Why do you think anyone in the wizarding world would believe that a man who got hit by the death curse stayed alive and came back 11 to 13 years later was dead because the boy said he was? The book showed the fact.
Seriously,
that he died. Everyone saw him die, so they knew it was true.
Yeah. No,
He
they
goes
would
back,
have
he's dead this
no
time.
reason to believe it.
Exactly.
He was gone. It was
Yes.
myth. You know what I mean? It was like, no,
Yes.
he's definitely dead. It's just myth and rumors that he might possibly be back someday. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, no, he's definitely gone. And here he is. You know what I mean?
Makes absolutely no sense.
So you need concrete evidence that he's gone for good. You know?
Yes. So I was kind of throw it out. I mean, I think it's been talked about more for some reason. It seems like it's like, all right, we want to talk about other stuff. But I think Ron and I think out of the three, I think Ron Weasley was the strongest casting.
Agreed.
Me personally.
Yeah.
I just think he was funny.
They
I
could
think
have written him a little less stupid.
I think so. He wasn't quite as a dumbass in the books. Yeah. But Rupert Grint played him with humor, with loyalty, with annoying. He really he was
did
the
a really good
he had
job.
the most depth in his performance. I feel.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now the other two were
Just
big.
nitpicking, you know, he was supposed to be this very tall, skinny
Yeah, and
person,
they didn't-
but that's
they
just
didn't do that.
nitpicking, you know.
Yeah, no,
you got to cast who you got to cast sometimes.
No,
You know, It's
exactly.
like, no, you're doing good. I want you as my Ron. You know what I
I
mean? So,
agree.
and I wouldn't have changed him. So
No, and Radcliffe I think got stronger as it went on. I think Emma Watson got stronger as it went on.
I thought his reaction to, and I don't know if you agree with me on this, when Cedric came out of the games, I thought his reaction to him dying was terrible. I thought it was so bad.
I thought it started
He's
good. 'cause
dead. He's dead.
I gotta disagree with you on that. I think he played super tired, super shocked. Voldemort's back. Kind of. I don't know what to do. Well,
He's back. He's back. I thought it was so bad, and he was painfully outshined by Cedric's dad
good
in that
Lord
scene.
in heaven, that man. He ran down. This is my boy. It was so sad.
Yeah, that was that. I did that part. I saw.
Know that,
Yeah.
haha! You
Yeah.
stinking geek in training. We're gonna pin a medal to you so the world can see it.
No.
We're gonna brand you a geek.
No, yeah, he was painfully outshined in that scene,
Oh,
in my
God.
opinion.
And I'll tell you what else was just wrong all day with all the depictions is Harry's hair.
It was supposed to be mega unruly.
And why did they think having a giant helmet of a hairdo on him meant that was unruly? It made no sense.
No, and it specifically in the book said that he had the one piece in the back that could never stay down.
Yes,
It's just always
cowlick.
sticking
Yes.
straight up.
It was always everywhere, no matter what he did with it. And that is like, let's put a big helmet hairdo on him and paint it to look, to look like a hair. It looked terrible.
Oh, Lord.
Well, they finally just trimmed him up in the what was it, the fifth one? The
Yeah,
Order of the
gave him
Phoenix?
just like a regular hairdo.
Yeah,
and
nice
it's
little
like,
hairdo.
"Ah,
Yeah, it's
lies.
like, whatever.
You're a liar.
This is lies.
You're not Harry Potter.
So is that are those like all the examples of sacrilege, or the biggest ones? I should say.
Yeah, the idea that Voldemort is that the only one we named was Voldemort.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was for me just disgraceful
The
that they didn't have him
utmost
die.
sacrilege.
Yeah, it was just poorness
Mm.
of the utmost, and there's probably more, but to me
Yeah.
that's the one that stuck out the most horrendous.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wish I had touched up on more than the first book before I was able to do this, but
No, that's fine.
I think we had some good knowledge.
Yeah, it was very informative, I guess. We all love movies.
Yes, we do.
That's why we do this.
Yeah.
God
Yes.
damn it! We've all been in different theatrical productions in different capacities.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Myself and Mr. Dust have been on stage. Who are you? No, Skidabic has actually been on film, in a film, near a film, to a film. Shout out to Strange Films.
Yes, indeed.
So, what production were you a part of?
Center City 2.
Okay.
So
Very
that was
nice.
the sequel to Center City.
My God, I never would have guessed. So that experience, because I've never worked, behind, or I've never worked behind the camera. I never worked in front of a camera in that capacity.
Right.
What was that? Because you came from stage before that.
Yeah. So I went to high school for 4 years, performing arts high school, majored in theater for all 4 of those years, got to do stage managing and directing and all that fun stuff. It's cool. It's a very different experience.
Mm-hmm.
You have a little bit more freedom to fix things. You know what I mean? Like if you're playing a character and you don't like the way you did something, then you're like, all right, hold on, let's try that again. While on stage, you say it and you're done. And it's like, I really wish I didn't do that. I could have added this and it would have given that so much more flair. You know what I mean? So you have a little bit more time to make your character more finite and do what you want with it, which is why I'm confused by all of the bad actors out there. It's like you have all the time in the world to do this the way that it should be done. How are you not? Why are you not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So when it comes to watching movies and being in one, however small, however big, you know, good, bad, whatever. What came through your head when you're thinking, I've watched movies since I was a kid, I'm in a movie? Did it really like kind of...
I don't really think it's sunk in yet until maybe I see it, because I haven't seen the final product yet. But it's cool. You know what I mean? Like you have to avoid the camera, which is the funniest part of it. You're sitting there and you want to stare into the camera the whole time because it's this big thing in front of your face, and it's like, this doesn't feel natural because look, there's a camera. Hi, it's me.
Hello.
No, but it's a really cool experience. And all of the people at Strange Films were super cool and down to earth. And I made some cool friends that I now follow on like Instagram. We all kind of live in the same neighborhood, which is hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no,
That is
they're
wonderful.
really fantastic to work with, you know.
Great.
Big thank you to Frank and August for letting me be part of the production.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Yeah,
And
it's
if you want
been
to find
super
out,
fun.
don't look at me.
Oh, okay.
If you want to find out more about them, we'll leave a link to things in the description about thoughts.
And likes and comments and subscriptions and notification bells all being pushed and rang and done and did would be very appreciated by us and them and every kid.
Ding in the bells.
Us.
Ding in the bells.
And then
I said ding in the bells.
ding the bells. Ding the bell. Let's make a bell right now. No. So I think we've come to that time of the day, the week, the year, the month. We are gonna recast what should be 4, 5?
I was thinking 3 characters.
3 characters.
3 characters
Okay.
for both of us. And then you recast them and we'll judge how terrible you've done because you don't know anything about it. If you,
Can't remember one actor to exist.
all right, we'll do the best we can here. I'll start off strong. God damn it. I want to recast Voldemort.
Mm-hmm.
I want to recast Snape.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Frodo.
And
Hey,
just
wait
for the
a
sake
minute.
of Melmoot, we'll recast Frodo. For me, I would have gotten Benedict Cumberbatch to play Voldemort. I think
Wow.
the voice, the attitude, what he brings to, I am very calm and I am very calculating, but I am very dangerous. I think he could have played Voldemort with full-on no nose. I didn't like that they didn't give him the snake eyes
Yeah.
in the movie.
Yeah.
I think he could have done that to a very, oh my God, my very serious uncle's incredibly mad at me. It would have made that kind of, I think it would have been great.
I would like to see that. I like Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes. I think it really would have worked. As far as Snape is concerned, he's not British, and like every British, Irish, and Scottish or whoever, anyone anywhere was in these movies.
Yeah.
But I think I would have gotten Crispin Glover
As Snape?
as Snape. With the greasy hair. 'Cause they talk about how greasy his hair was, his little goatee, and I think he could have played it with an angry, you know, I was evil, I'm trying to be good. I think he could have done it. For me,
Crispin.
I just like the idea.
I've told myself about
And if we're
Crispin
recasting Frodo, in this day and age,
No.
no,
recasting Frodo.
stop it. You said it, now we're going to need it.
Mm.
I would have, back in the day, I remember saying, and I don't know if you'll take offense to this, but because everyone's like, hey, I can do something else. And you know, that's good on you. You can do something else, buddy. When it came out, I said Peter Dinklage.
Okay.
Because he was actually supposed to be older in the book. He was supposed to be in his 50s, Frodo. And I actually think he
Dinklage.
would have done a beautiful job of playing a man, you know, going on this journey and trying his best to make everyone, you know, proud and do the right thing. I think Dinklage would have done a great job.
And he was do the right thing and fight Voldemort, right?
Whatever. Okay.
Okay.
Skidabik,
So,
do you think you can recast any one of those with any actor you can think of?
or 3 of your own, like 3 separate characters, or do
Oh no, you can do that. Yeah,
Okay.
if you can think. And again, you can do one if you can think of one. I know you are a special guest.
I do want to replace Hermione.
Okay.
I would love to replace Harry as well. It's just trying to think of young people. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like I have a very strong love for Freddie Highmore as a child actor, and
Freddie
I think he
Highmore.
would have been a cool Harry.
No, I agree
If
with
he
that.
was, back in his younger days, you know what I mean? I
Yes.
think he could have done that so well, and he had that wild thing going on, the hair thing, in a couple movies.
That's a good casting, I think.
I really like
Absolutely.
Freddie Highmore. When it comes to Hermione, it's like hard to like. What do you do?
It's weird that she's all over the place now, and it wouldn't have been at the time because she was far too young or not born. Yeah, not born at this time. It would have been great to see Millie Bobby Brown play her.
That
At
would
one
have been
point, that would have been nice,
fantastic.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I do like Millie. Yeah, no, I can't. I'm out of this loop.
No, that's fine. I think that's a great recasting for Harry.
Yeah.
And we're good. You want to try Frodo, or you good with it?
Let's do Ian Mackin as Frodo. He
Who's-
played Gawain in Merlin. He's so
Okay.
cute.
Okay, we will do that. And now, Mel Mood, you son of a gun,
Mhm.
you have to try and recast two Harry Potter characters and Frodo as well. So
Okay.
pick two. You want us to pick your Harry Potter characters?
Yeah.
Recast Mad Eye Moody,
Okay.
and you're gonna have to recast.
Boatswain McGee.
We'll do if we can't think of another one. We'll go Mad Eye Moody, and we'll do Cornelius Fudge.
Okay.
Okay, you recast both of those, whatever actor you think, and then recast Frodo.
Okay. What was the first
Anthony
guy's name?
Hopkins.
His name was Mad Eye Moody.
All right. He's being played by Elton John.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And
Interesting choice.
okay. What was the other guy's name?
Cornelius Fudge, Minister of Magic.
Okay. He's being played by Anthony Hopkins.
Well, that's never a wrong turn. So good
Don't-
job
that's
there.
That's not a bad.
That's
casting.
not a
No,
bad-
I want Anthony Hopkins to play
Exactly,
everybody.
but he actually could
Anthony
have done
Hopkins
that.
will be
Really?
the character for. He's the new Harry. Run.
Wow.
Oh, right. See, I knew. I
During
knew
the
it.
pressure of saying, hello, Ron. How are we today? Whatever you want
Yeah.
to do. Now, Frodo, you s-
Frodo.
you started this.
Anthony Hopkins.
Frodo.
Anthony Hopkins, yes. You may have
Yeah.
guessed it.
Michael Douglas.
And Michael Caine.
Yeah, both
Yeah.
together are going to play Frodo because it's that important.
Yeah.
Bless
You
Michael Caine.
son of a gun.
Well, thank you for joining us on this Geek Fest in Dorktown with nerd people.
Oh,
No.
not coming back.
We want to say thank you very much for being here, Skidabick. It was a wonderful conversation.
Much fun.
Absolutely.
And we want to say best of luck to Dr. Crisis and all of his endeavors.
And come home soon.
Yes. The
Fight
fall
Buzz
has
Halter.
arrived. It is nice and steaming hot. We're going to dig into a nice bowl of noodle soup. To everyone out there in the film universe, always stay in the light. The movie light.
So, RoboCop.
Yeah.
If he does he pee?
He has organics, but it never said he had a pee-pee.
According to my mother, they play Carol Bells.
That was actually a Terminator.
Terminator.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was